Hi there, Pisces, and welcome back to my channel, the Zodiac Love Tarot. I'm Jennifer Winters, and this is your Pisces February 2020 Astrology Tarot reading. I'm really excited to talk to you about the reading this month because it has something to do with Venus. And as you know, I am a sextilineum Libra, and I'm also an empath. So whenever I hear about Venus, and especially Venus in February, I get all excited. But there is a little catch to what is going on for you this month in February, because Chiron is also going to be coming conjunct with Venus, and that is going to be in the sign of Aries, which means that it's going to be transiting your second house. So Venus and Chiron are going to be transiting your second house. All right, so you actually had earlier in the month, you had Venus in your sign. So you may have already experienced like some sort of rekindling of your relationship or rekindling of your love, or maybe there's something really personal that brings more love into your life. I mean, it could be a new child, it could be a pet, it could be a lot of things. But I think that probably you've already been maybe gifted something in this early month of February for you, Pisces. But now with Chiron coming into your second house, along with Venus, what I'm seeing, especially with Aries, that Aries energy, is that you are going to have a lot of personal self-healing and personal love and personal growth that's going to come out of the month of February, okay? So, and it also has a lot to do with your identity, because again, with Venus and Chiron being in the house of Aries, or the sign of Aries, excuse me, that means that it's about personal identity. So self-love and personal identity. So what we're going to look at for you, Pisces, is we're going to look at what's happening in your second house, because your second house is your house of money and possessions and things like that. Now, when you have this Venus and Chiron energy in the house of money and possessions, what that is telling me is that because of something maybe early, some kind of early childhood experience, may be keeping you from having as much money as you want. And those are some old wounds that need to be healed. And in order for those wounds to be healed, there needs to be some self-love that occurs, and then that is going to increase your self-worth, and then that is going to help you create more abundance in your life and more manifestation in your life. So I'm going to do a reading, and it's going to be specific to you. It's not going to be a romance reading like the ones I've done for the other signs tonight, because I really think that this one's a little bit different for you, especially with it being in your house of possessions. I think it has a lot to do with your personal self worth, and having a comfortable life for yourself, because I think that so far maybe you're not as secure or maybe as comfortable in your life as you could be. And I think that the reason that is because something is blocking out some of your success and some of your abundance and some of your good energy. Something maybe early in childhood, like I'm trying to say, maybe there was like a bit of lack of affection. That's what I wrote down here when I was feeling these feelings, was just like, just, I know as a Pisces, a lot of times there's an expectation of how much attention you should be getting, or how much love that you need to satisfy certain desires and needs. And it's a very deep emotional type of love that not everybody from different signs are able to provide. Like, say for instance, if your mother was a Capricorn or your father was a Capricorn, I'm not saying that they don't have a lot of love to give, but I'm just saying, like, there's different signs that bring a different kind of energy. Like, one could be more of a like a fatherly figure, like a Capricorn, but not so much as like a Cancer. Like a Cancer energy would be able to give you a lot of love and emotion. So I think that Chiron being in your second house right now, and Venus being in your second house, is saying that because of maybe a little bit of a lack of affection, or a feeling that there was lack of affection, even though maybe there wasn't, could have stuck with you for a very long time and created like this old wound inside of you. And now this old wound needs to be exposed, it needs to be healed. And then this is what is going to help you to become more financially stable, more financially aware, because this is going to increase your self-worth. And when you increase your self-worth, you always feel like you deserve more, and you're always able to manifest more. Okay, so we're going to look at this reading. We're going to do 3 cards, and this is going to be, what is the energy that you need to manifest more wealth into your life? And this card is going to be, when is it going to happen for you? And this 3rd card is going to tell me what kind of value you're going to bring to yourself that's going to help you manifest some things. Okay, so this first card is that energy. Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, we got the Hercules card. All right, and Hercules was willing to go on these, we call them the 12 labors. If you go back in Greek mythology, you'll see that Hercules, he had a wound early on, like a personal family wound, and it was lack of attention. This is so bizarre now that I'm looking at, like, remembering the story. Basically, he had a I think it was a cousin, and they were both up for the throne, and the cousin got it through like nepotism or something like that. And then he treated Hercules really poorly because he was always jealous of him. He was jealous of his abilities. So he planted this psychological seed into his mind where he just destroyed his own family, not willingly, but unknowingly. And because of the grief and the sorrow, he had to do something to bring his life back, because he just felt like a loser, like just all these past mistakes that he had made him into this lowly human being. And so doing these 12 labors was to sort of like redeem himself. And so he goes on this journey, and he fights all these terrible monsters and all of these things. And then he finally comes full circle, and he's heroic, and he's triumphant, and he's just glowing with energy and pride. And his whole life has been filled back up with this self-worth that he lost, and that because he suffered so much loss. So, I mean, I don't know if you felt this or you suffered this sort of loss. I mean, there's this Scorpio energy in here, which also in the 6 of Cups, which is emotional, a lot of emotional energy. But this is also, you know, one of your fellow water signs with this, you know, the Scorpio energy. But in that energy has a lot to do around like work and things. So this Hercules energy is something that it's like, in order to get rid of old wounds, you have to find a way to be triumphant. You have to find a way to get past these old feelings. And if it's a lack of affection that you are feeling or something of that nature, you have to start to do something that makes you love yourself more. And it could be doing something for other people. It could be challenging yourself to new things, to new hobbies, new religion, new spirituality, new projects, new something that's going to bring you a lot of self-worth. Because I feel like right now there's been a lot of blockage in that area. Like maybe you have a job, but it's not as fulfilling as it used to be. You've kind of lost the ability to feel a lot of self-worth, because maybe it's become like a mundane thing for you. So it could be that, but there is this energy that it needs to be transformed into positive self-worth. Okay, so that's what this reading is turning out to be from Venus and Chiron. And then now let's see how soon is this going to happen. So we turn this card over. Okay, so this is basically the aura, and it's the 8 of Wands. So this is telling me that it'll happen fast, but you have to decide. to make a sacrifice. And that's like just like what Hercules did. He had to decide, okay, I know I have this person, uh, this evil cousin or whatever, and basically wants me he wants me to go out and do these challenges for him to prove to him that I'm worthy of this throne, but I need to prove it to myself, and I need to make these sacrifices and prove it to myself. So no matter what he says, I can prove it to myself. So he went on, did these challenges. He sacrificed a lot. He sacrificed a lot of himself. He was willing to do that. And then with that willingness came this beautiful transformation, this really wonderful self-worth, this, this triumph, this very triumphant nature that he was able to. I mean, now even in history, we still remember Hercules as being a strong warrior, but he wasn't always. He had to make sacrifices. So this can happen soon if you just decide to make a sacrifice for yourself. I know this is heavy. I mean, this might not be what you expected for February, but this also is what happens when Chiron comes into, your second house. So with these sacrifices also is going to bring abundance. And what kind of value? What kind of abundance? What is going to manifest? What is going to happen? So let's take a look at this card. Okay, so we have Uranus, and this is the Fool card. Now, what this is telling me is that it's a journey, and it's not going to be necessarily about victory at the end, even though you probably are going to have victory. It's going to be about the journey. It's going to be about, it's almost like when you climb to Mount Everest. It's not just about being at the top. It's about how you got there. It's about every moment along the way. And those are the moments that you remember. And when you're standing at the top, yeah, like look, see him standing there at the top? And he's protected by Uranus. Even though this is the Fool card and it means you're taking a leap of faith, sometimes it also can mean that it's about the journey, because Uranus is also about sending people on journeys, about sending people out and that's the same thing with the 12 labors. Is he went out, he sacrificed, Hercules went out, he did these 12 challenges, and each one gave him satisfaction. Each one gave him what he, got him further and further and further closer to feeling strong and confident and having a lot of self-worth. And so that's why this card is saying it's not about winning a crown or making a lot of money. It's about the journey that you took to get there. And that is going to speak for itself. It's going to bring you the self-worth that you wanted. And in that situation, I think that money and monetary things, they'll follow, but they won't be as important as the true gift that you get, which is just really believing in yourself and revamping yourself and becoming one with your own, personality and your own self and that's what this reading for February, for what Venus and Chiron want for you. All right. So I know it seems kind of heavy and you're like thinking to yourself, what kind of challenges could I give myself to make me feel more self-worth, or I have plenty of self-worth, or whatever. I mean, that could be true. Like you might already have a lot of self-worth, and this could be for someone else. This could be a message for someone else, or it could be that you haven't really thought about it all the way through. Maybe something is holding you back. If you definitely don't have the abundance that you're looking for, or the feelings that you're looking for in terms of how comfortable you are with yourself, then maybe there's some more growth to occur. So I don't know, like it's just one of those things where you can either try to create more challenges for yourself that make you feel better, whether it's like a marathon or just a challenge to have some project done by a certain date or anything like that. Something that's going to give you a lot more self-worth than what you think you already have. So, okay, that was good. I like that, Pisces. This kind of makes me feel like I want to do more challenges to make myself feel great. Maybe I'll, Google the internet and see what I can find, something really interesting to do and challenge myself. But thank you so much for coming to my channel and seeing this February reading about Venus and Chiron. And I hope to see you next time. So please, give me a like, give me a share, and leave a comment down below. Like, leave something like, oh, I know this challenge that I could go on, or I know what you're talking about, or, I've been listening. Just anything that you have to say, and subscribe to the channel so that you can get this reading for next month. Okay, Pisces? Thank you, and I will see you next month. Bye.